Hi, everyone, and welcome to the HR Happy Hour Network. This is the play-by-play podcast hosted by myself, Jack McFarlane, and Nick Schlemmer.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
Well, it is officially one of the greatest times of the year, especially if you're a big sports fan. It is March Madness. We all know what that means. It means faking like you're doing homework, faking like you're doing work, having the basketball games pulled up on your phone, hidden out of sight from your boss, teacher, parent, whatever it may be. It is arguably the best time to be a sports fan. You get 32 basketball games in 2 days and then another 16 the next 2 days, plus double that for women's. I mean, it's just an incredible time to be alive. So we wanted to come at you with our annual March Madness episode, but a little bit of a disclaimer. We recorded this 2 days ago, and we had technical issues. So round one, also known as round of 64, is currently ongoing right now. So we have some results and some are still pending. So we'll compare that to our brackets and our predictions, and it'll kind of be fun because we can say, well, this is what we've got right so far, and this is what we missed on completely. So just hang in with us there, and let's just jump right into it.
Hi, this is Nick Schlemmer, and you are listening to the HR Happy Hour Network, home of the Play-by-Play podcast. The HR Happy Hour Network is sponsored by WorkHuman. HR is about to change for good with the power of human intelligence. By combining AI and the rich data of WorkHuman's #1 rated employee recognition platform, human intelligence answers HR's most demanding needs, unlocking insights and capabilities that redefine talent management, cultural transformation, and employee engagement, ultimately elevating performance and, above all, people. The future of HR has arrived. Will you and your company be a part of it? Learn about human intelligence at workhuman.com and join their force for good. All right, guys, we are back. And like Jack said, it is March Madness time. And, with all the brackets and all the teams that make it, 64 teams, there's always those teams that you don't see too often. Maybe some first-timers, second-timers. And Jack, what are some of those teams that it's their first time in the tournament? What do you think about those guys?
Yeah, so there are two that jump out to me right away. One, being from Illinois, we have a lot of friends, family members, teachers, people in our community go to the Southern Illinois University of Edwardsville, also known as SIUE, and this was their first ever time making it in the tournament. In the school's history, they've never made the March Madness, never made the bracket. They actually have a crazy story. 5 years ago in 2019, at the end of 2019, I should say, so technically 6 calendar years, their coach was hired, and he got a big pair of those like carnival-looking scissors, like that like a mayor
like the ribbon-cutting scissors,
ribbon-cutting scissors, and hung them up in the team's locker room. And he said, "These are the scissors we're going to use to cut our name out and put it on the bracket when we make the tournament." Sure enough, they finally got to use those scissors. I was really looking forward to who they're going to get to play. Maybe they could pull a 16-1 upset. It's only been done twice before. Sadly, their game has been played. They did not come close to beating Houston, but it was still a great story, right? First time in the tournament.
For sure.
Could potentially be the biggest sporting event in that school's history. It definitely is up to this point, but it might be for the rest of history. It's hard to tell if a small school like that ever makes it back. The other school that jumps out to me is Alabama State. So they were one of the first 4, which is, you play to get in. It's the first 2 games to get into the tournament. 16 seed. They had never won a tournament game before. Sure enough, they go out, they win their first 4 game. They sadly got the honor, the privilege of playing Auburn, the #1 ranked team in the country. They also did not win, but they did put up a good fight. We can get into that a little bit later. But Auburn did not look great. Those were the 2 that stood out to me. Were there any teams that stood out to you, Nick?
Yeah, and I just want to swing back over to Alabama State. Did you see the ending to their first?
Well, that is a great point.
The buzzer beater, tip-in
game, full court. So for those who didn't see it, the best way to describe it, okay, so full court pass, inbound to baseline, like a quarterback just chucking the ball, Hail Mary. It is basically everyone jumps for the ball at once. It gets tipped around, and Alabama State player somehow gets the ball and gets the layup.
They win by 2 points.
No time left. Win by 2 points. It was incredible. That probably so far has been the best moment of March Madness. I would argue.
I would
I
agree.
can't think of a better one. That has been the best play so far. That is
Yeah.
a great point to bring up. But yeah, who jumps out to you?
Yeah, so I've got two teams as well. First time entry, High Point University in North Carolina. Now, like you said, they got to play a 1 seed, and they didn't make it. But
Yeah,
they didn't make it.
it's good to be there, right? It's good to be in the tournament at that
Yes,
point.
it was good to be there. And then another one was Omaha. That was their first time entry into the tournament as well. And sadly, they got knocked off. Jack, remind me who they played.
Yeah, St. John's.
St. John's. St. John's
draw.
shot the lights out that game.
St. John's, I'm telling you, like, we'll get into our predictions. They are a very good team, and they are the best coached team in college basketball. I don't think there's much arguing there. Omaha just got unlucky. They played pretty solid, but eventually, I actually think they went up 7-0, if I believe. It was 7-0, 9-0, and they were looking really good, and St. John's decided, oh, wait, yeah, we're not going to miss a single shot the rest of the game, and we're going to make everything.
Exactly.
So it kind of went how you'd expect it. But yeah, Omaha, it was a great story. I actually thought it was funny. Omaha is a small city, for those that don't know. They had 2 schools make the tournament. I'm like, I don't think anywhere else in the country has that small of a city sending 2 teams in. So I thought that was another, with Creighton being the other one. I thought that was a fun
the state of Nebraska almost sent all the men's and women's teams. Sadly, the University of Nebraska men's team did not make it. The women's team is still playing, but Nebraska almost sent everybody. We were one short.
So close. One day you guys will get that win. I saw that Nebraska is the only Power 5 school to never win a tournament game. Yep. So it's coming though. It's coming though.
It's on the way.
Which I'm shocked that you guys didn't make it, honestly. You had a pretty good beginning of the season, if I remember.
The beginning of the season was great. And then towards the end, close games, just couldn't pull through. A couple blowout losses that we had.
You just wanted to give the way for Omaha. You just wanted Omaha to participate. That's very kind. That's very kind. But let's jump into our predictions. So I'm curious, can you give me a rundown? Who do you have in the Final Four, and are they still playing? Or have they lost?
Yeah, no. So my Final Four from what we had the other day was Michigan State, Florida, Duke, and Tennessee. So far, all of my teams are still in the tournament.
Yeah, that's great. That's always a good sign. After the first round, if your Final Four team is gone, your bracket is busted.
The brackets, the percentage just keeps going down.
Yeah, so that's a good sign. I'm in the same boat. All 4 of my Final Four teams are still alive for now. I've got Houston, Florida, Auburn, and Alabama. I'm feeling a little less confident about that now. I was really feeling good about Alabama. And then Duke just played 5 hours ago. Oh my gosh. If whoever didn't see that first round game, Duke looked incredible. They looked like the best team I've seen all year. Forget just the tournament. They put up 93 points, which is the most so far this tournament. Now, they weren't playing that great of competition. Mount St. Mary's a 16 seed. But man, Duke looked so good. So I'm a little nervous because my bracket so far has done really good. I'm at 99.5% correct. And I'll get into what I've missed. I'll get into what I've missed, but that one could really hurt me if I'm like in a close race for winning, some prizes. So yeah, Duke's looked really, really good. Well, who do you have winning it all out of your bracket?
Yeah, so winning it all, I'm keeping it in the Big Ten. So I'm going with Michigan State. I just like their style of basketball, very old school, very defensively sided. Always been a great program. Tom Izzo definitely left a mark on that school and left an impression, and it'll forever be a Power 5 high quality program. But I have Michigan State. I would love to see a Big Ten team make a run.
Yeah, that's great. And it's a really good pick. Michigan State reminds me a lot of classic NBA basketball, right? They're big. They're defensive. They live around the rim, right? They've got the best dunker in the country. There's no doubt about it.
Yes.
And they're just a really well-run team. There's not one standout player, right? Duke is a great team, but Duke is run by stars. They're kind of like an NBA team. Like Cooper Flagg is
very much so
the main person on Duke. Michigan State's very team-oriented. I'd say the opposite of Michigan State would be Alabama. They are new style NBA. They shoot as many threes as they can and hope they go in. They might have to beat Duke, honestly. And even then, I don't know if Alabama can beat Duke. I'm telling you guys, Duke looked incredible. So
I am sad that I did not watch that game today.
it was, I mean, I'll talk about some of the players later in just a bit here when we talk about standout players. But Duke looked so good.
Yeah, but Jack, who do you have winning it all?
So I have Florida winning it all. They've been the hottest team in college basketball all year, basically. They've had a lot of quality wins. Some of them, they beat Tennessee twice. Both times Tennessee was ranked. One is number 1, one is number 8. They've beat Alabama twice. That's why I have them beating Alabama a third time, actually. And then they beat Auburn when Auburn was a 1 seed. They beat Texas A&M and Mizzou both when they were ranked. So Florida, they've just proven they've done more than enough to prove themselves against the big teams. They are 30-4. They're a 1 seed. Right now, they are whooping up on the 16 seed that they're playing. The game is going on right now, so I don't have a live score update, but last I checked, it was like 27-9.
I can give it to you. So they're playing Norfolk State University.
That's right. Yeah, Norfolk.
47-19.
Okay, looking good so far for my pick to win it all. That's a good sign for me. So,
and Jack, just looking at the bracket, Florida, I kind of like their run that they have here towards the Sweet 16. They're probably going to play UConn over Oklahoma.
Yeah,
is what I would imagine.
UConn. Yeah,
and probably, I don't know, Colorado State and Maryland. That's a pretty good matchup.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll get into Colorado State in just a second here, but Florida, they've got I think the easiest path as a number 1 seed to the Final Four. Mm-hmm. And then they would have to play in my bracket Auburn, which I think Auburn, they've been so good, but their momentum is down. They really didn't look great yesterday when they played. And yeah, I think Florida's just been better. And I mean, Florida's beaten Auburn once already, so I think they could definitely do it again. So I think Florida's got not only the best team, but the easiest path as a 1 seed.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
But yeah, let's get into what people really love about March, and that is Cinderella stories. Every year there's at least one. There's usually multiple. This year's honestly been odd. There was only, I think, 3 official upsets, but 2 of them, or at least one of them, was a 9 seed over an 8 seed. Not much of an upset there. So tell me, going into this, who were you looking out for a Cinderella run, and are they still in it?
Yeah, so my Cinderella prediction was High Point. And like I said, they played Purdue and they lost 75 to 63 to Purdue. So they're not in it anymore. I wanted to see them make a run because it was their first time in it. I wanted to see them get that win first round, Mm-hmm. But Purdue's just a solid Big Ten Power 5 conference team. Who did you have? Who was your Cinderella story?
Yeah, so my Cinderella story, we just mentioned them, Colorado State. It was a good pick. They did win their matchup. They were a 12 seed going against 5 seed Memphis. They won. The reasons I was looking for Colorado State, there's a couple. One is since January 1st, they've been the second hottest team in college basketball right behind Florida. Florida has not lost since November. Yeah. Colorado State was 17-3 since January 1st, so still really good. They ended up winning the Mountain West, so they're coming in with a ton of momentum, and that really plays a huge part in a win-or-go-home game is momentum, and people don't realize that. Mm-hmm. The other thing was, looking at that side of the bracket, I mean, Memphis is a 5 seed. I think they were seeded way too high. I think Colorado State was seeded way too low. I think that would have been a good 8-9 game. Mm-hmm. And then they get to play Maryland now, and that's a very winnable game. Maryland looked okay against GCU. They definitely were the better team.
They definitely put up a lot of points, but yeah.
They left no doubt on the court, but I still think, they did not shoot the ball well from 3. They didn't actually shoot many 3s to begin with. So Colorado State, I think they could take advantage of that. And if they just have it takes one game, right? It's March Madness. If they have one good game, they'll move on. So I have them actually making the Sweet 16 and then losing, but I picked them to beat Maryland. So I think that's a good Cinderella story. And then the third reason that I'm picking Colorado State is for Nick Clifford. This guy has been electric to watch. Honestly, had a good game against Memphis. Not a great game, but on the season, he was averaging 18 points, almost 10 rebounds, 4 assists, and was Mountain West first team at shooting guard. He Go look up some of his highlights. It's just a fun watch. It's like when you would look up Tavon Austin highlights when he was at West Virginia. It's just like you cannot take your eyes away from the screen. It's so much fun. And so that's someone that I would like to look out for during the tournament, not just for my Cinderella run. Do you have anyone that you want to look out for during March Madness?
Yeah, so I definitely do have a player. But before I get into that, I wanted to flip over to the other side of the bracket and talk about one of the upsets. The 12 seed, McNeese over the 5 seed Clemson. McNeese, and I don't know if you've been on social media or our listeners, have you guys been on social media? I'm blanking on the team manager, has a lot of attention on him right now. He's the only manager that has an NIL deal.
Yes,
as a team manager.
I saw that.
And he comes out with the speakers playing and the players are getting hyped behind them, but they upset Clemson. So a 12 upsetting a 5 by 2 points, 69 to 67.
See, and what's crazy about that scoreline is that, that sounds like, wow, that's a really close game. In reality, that game was not close at all. McNeese started out on fire. I forget the exact amount of points they were winning by, but it was over 20 points. Going into the half. They were destroying Clemson. Then the opposite happened in the second, and Clemson clawed all the way back, and they came up just short, which is, sucky because I picked Clemson, but also great to see. You love to see the upsets. You love to root for the small schools. Like McNeese beating Clemson, that's not going to happen in any sport, other than a one and done. Like, it's just not. Clemson's just a bigger, better school. So I'm so 100%. Happy for him. I'm fine that it took that part of my bracket out just a bit. It was great. That's a great one. One thing I did miss on, because I'm sitting here, I picked this and this and this right, blah, blah, blah. One thing I missed on, and I'm being forced to talk about, was I had picked VCU to beat BYU, and that was for 2 reasons. One, VCU's coach was the coach of UMBC when they were 16 seed and upset number 1 Virginia. 2, BYU is my rival. I did the same thing last year, picked them to lose to 10-seeded Dayton, and that worked. So I thought, sure enough, it's going to work this year. As a 11-seeded VCU, 6-seeded BYU, it was close. It was a close game, but BYU won. So I did get that wrong. I'm not sitting here saying, my bracket is perfect. I picked everything right. So I missed, and I will continue to miss for sure. There's some games.
Hopefully this Wisconsin team can knock them out for you.
Exactly right. Like as long as you miss small. Right, that's fine. You can miss a game or two as long as your big teams make it. But let's
jump into those players.
Exactly. Do you have one that you're looking out for that you really want to see?
I do, and he's from the University of Illinois. Will Riley. He was the 2024-2025 Sixth Man of the Year in the Big Ten. He's 19 years old. He played in all 33 games, started 7 of them, and he shoots the ball a lot. So on average, he is shooting the ball 16.2 times per game. And to kind of put that into perspective when compared to the entirety of the roster of Illinois, he shoots more than everybody, than the starters, than everybody else, in only 40 minutes of play too. So every 40 minutes, he's getting the ball up over 16 times. That's the most on the whole roster. And he's coming off the bench.
A lot. Exactly. He's not a starter. He's coming in the game, and he has one goal, and that is to get the ball and shoot the ball. Get ball, shoot ball. Get ball, shoot ball. Yep. But, in March, that is so valuable to have a really good bench player because oftentimes when it comes down to the last shot, someone might be injured. Someone might be tired. You need at least one bench guy in the game, and he'll probably find himself not as guarded as like a superstar. Like if Cooper Flagg is in a one-possession game, he's getting double-teamed.
Yeah,
that's when your bench player can be opened up and hit the shot. So that's a really I like that.
And he's averaging just over 12 points a game.
Yeah.
And out of before the tournament started, the last 12 of the 13 games, he was actually averaging 16.3. So I mean, as a true freshman, 19 years old,
off the bench,
that's pretty good.
For those that don't watch much college basketball, that's really good. That's above averaging. The best players are averaging 18. Maybe 19 points a game. I forget what the guy from Auburn's averaging, but I have Cooper Flagg right here. And I'll just jump into him while I'm on his name. he's averaging 18.5 a game, and he's considered the best player in the country. He will be the number 1 overall draft pick.
Yes.
Obviously, someone to look out for. 6'9". He is basically a point guard. He's grabbing 7 boards a game, 5 assists a game, 2 steals a game. Probably going to win National Player of the Year. If I was voting on it, he might get second, but he'll either get first or second. And I said earlier in the episode, Duke looked incredible. Yeah, a lot of it was thanks to Cooper Flagg. He played great. If he's around the rim, the ball is just going in. Right hand, left hand. He was getting hard fouled, double covered. He's making everything, dunking everything. He's so tall, so athletic. He is someone not only to look out for to make an impact, but to look out for if you just want to have a good time. If you just want to sit down and enjoy.
Agree.
You know what it reminded me of? And I haven't felt this feeling in a long time, but when it was Steph Curry, KD, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, prime, like 2016 Golden State, where it was just fun to watch. Like, it was just that there's no other way to describe it. It was just fun to watch any day against any team. And that's what I felt like today watching this Duke team. And I had watched them a couple of times, but today was different. A lot of that was thanks to Tyrese Proctor, who we didn't talk about when we recorded this the first time. I have to talk about him now. Today was spectacular. Best player on the floor, honestly, better than Cooper Flagg. Finished with 19 points, 6 for 9 from the field, 1 for 2 from the line, but 6 for 9 from the field, 6 for 8 from 3. He shot the lights out.
Amazing percentage.
Yeah, grabbed 3 boards, had another 5 assists, and obviously he didn't play the whole game either because they pulled their starters out. He looked incredible. I'm going to be specifically watching out for him when I see Duke play again. He was great. Mm-hmm. And then I've got one more guy here. Had to include someone from Florida. I've got them as my championship. Their star player, Walter Clayton Jr., one of the best guards in the country, averaging 17 a game, 4 assists, 1 steal, runs the offense better than I think anyone could. Florida's got a pretty dynamic offense when you have that many stars. So you need someone that's really good, but also not selfish and is not afraid to, run the play. And I think anyone else in that situation would not be as good as Walter's been this year. He's been incredible. So that's another player to look out for.
100% agree. And Jack, I just wanted to swing back around to the Cooper Flagg. It can be the last thing we talk about Cooper Flagg. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But you mentioned his points per game, his rebounds, assists, steals. He is the leader in all of those stats on the Duke roster, and he's the only player to ever do that.
Yes.
As a true freshman.
That's true. As a true freshman, 18 years old.
Everything.
No Duke player has ever led the team in all those stats in a single year. And Duke's produced some of the best NBA players you can think.
Yes.
Right. Tons of superstars have gone to Duke. Even past recent, like Jason Tatum, Duke, he just won the finals, right? He's a favorite for MVP, although I think SGA will win it, but Jason Tatum's in the voting. Great player. He went to Duke. No one's ever done that except Cooper Flagg. Incredible. Zion went to Duke. He was really good. Like, so many superstars have been there, and yet this 18-year-old kid, he's not even a man, he's a kid, is just the best player. It's incredible. I'm telling you, if you're listening and you have not seen Duke play, you need to watch them. There's a chance that they play in every game the rest of the year. They could really win it all. It does make me a little nervous. They looked that good. So, yeah, Duke is a must-watch. Cooper Flagg is a must-watch.
100% agree. Alrighty, guys, we're wrapping up the show, as we always do, with the quote of the show. And I figured, you know what? We have to keep the whole theme of basketball going, talking about March Madness. I figured, why not get a quote from the Michael Jordan? Jack, I think you're going to like this one. I think it ties really in with the theme of this month.
Okay.
So here we go. Michael Jordan said, and I quote, "Some people want it to happen. Some wish it would happen. Others make it happen." In that last sentence, others make it happen. We're talking about those 12 seeds upsetting the 5 seeds.
That's right.
They make
Colorado
it happen.
State.
It's win or go home. So they made it happen.
That's fantastic. Yeah, there's no better quote for March Madness, that's for sure. Any team can win any day. If you're a smaller school, Just go make it happen. Like, forget the seeding, forget the universities, forget everything. Just go do it. That's perfect. Yeah. And from Michael Jordan, one of the best. I mean, one of the best
to ever do it. The best to ever do it.
Won a national championship himself. Has that famous buzzer beater when he was at North Carolina in March Madness. So, yeah, that's fantastic.
Yep. And guys, everybody tuning in today, thank you for all the support, all the listens, and
yeah, thank you guys. Just like Nick said, we really appreciate it. We have so much fun making these shows. Hopefully, you can tell that we're truly enjoying it, and we hope that you're enjoying it right back. So feel free to reach out on any social media or shoot us emails if there's anything we can improve on, or if there's anything you want to see. I'd say stay tuned for next episode. We're going to have a really good guest on, and that's about all I can say about that for now. But yeah, we're looking forward to it. And thank you guys for listening.
And bye for now.